Lahaina town. Happening right now, Maui Mayor Richard Bissen is at a distribution site at the Lahaina Gateway Center, delivering donations and visiting with residents who were impacted by the devastating fires. Officials say at least 1,000 people are still unaccounted for at this time. The death toll remains unchanged at 111 confirmed fatalities, and 58% of the disaster zone has been searched so far. Meanwhile, federal agencies continue to help evacuees transition from shelters to hotels. Our Jolani Martinez joins us with the latest. Jolani.
FEMA and Red Cross officials say the number of survivors in shelters dropped by 50% yesterday. They expect to move all survivors into hotels by next week.
We've secured about 780 to 1,000 hotel rooms. That number continually goes up every day as we work directly with our lodging partners and others to secure and open up rooms.
Federal agencies have created a task force focused on finding innovative sheltering and housing solutions for survivors. They say nearly 6,000 survivors have registered for federal assistance.
And that comes out to approving more than $5.6 million in assistance with nearly 2,000 households, including more than $2.3 million in initial rental assistance.
As FEMA's final search and rescue teams arrived Friday, the Red Cross says they responded to more than 2,100 requests to help families locate loved ones. FEMA's administrator says as of Wednesday evening, 40% of search and recovery efforts have been completed, and recovering remains continues to be the Department of Defense's top priority.
It really is a more humanitarian and it has and we want to be able to treat them in a dignified manner and give some closure to the families.
Brigadier General Stephen Logan of the Hawaii National Guard says they've brought up 2 separate security teams for Lahaina's burn zones.
We also have a roving patrol because unfortunately there's a lot of motorists that are stopping on the side of the road in order to get a better view and almost treat this like a tourist attraction. So between us and the Maui Police Department, they discourage people from stopping and would rather they just transmit through the area.
And to keep people from pulling over to the side of the road, Logan says the state's Department of Transportation is putting up fencing like dust walls. You have not registered for FEMA's disaster aid. There is a 24-hour call line available. It's 800-621-3362. Survivors are encouraged to go to the new Disaster Recovery Center at UH's Maui College. If you have documents that burned in the fire, FEMA says they have other ways of verifying your info. Jolani Martinez, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Jolani. And we want to take you back out live to the Lahaina, where Mayor Richard Bissen is addressing the media. Let's listen in.
These are started up and the county's supported, but everyone at every one of the hubs throughout West Maui can stop here, pick up supplies, and take them to their neighborhoods and take them to their areas. So I just want to thank all the volunteers from these locations and the ones that are community-led, because they're both. The point of this is everyone's working together. There's not a push and pull, in my opinion. We're getting that straight from the community. You know, speaking of Napili Plaza, that place of distribution started with Captain Ikaika Blackburn, who was working on that ship. People started bringing donations to the station, Napili Fire Station, and they ended up standing up at Napili Plaza, that place, that distribution center, and it's been staffed by firefighters from across the state that have come here, not getting in the firefight, but getting into the distribution. So many stories that I think should be told. This isn't our first time out here. It's probably our 4th time out here since this all started, but the point is getting into it and talking to the folks. Kaipo Kekona, he stood up the Napili Park that we just visited just recently. And again, Tamara Paulton alongside him, our own council member from this side. So again, people have worked as a community, people have worked together with the county. We've had so many volunteers. I think we have about 140 or 150 volunteers that are here today working at our different sites. And we've assembled those from maybe some days 40 or so, some days as many as 150. So I'm here to thank all the volunteers and Salvation Army who made those lunches for us to pass out to everyone. This was our last stop. We were able to take some to other locations before this. And then we have a couple of folks here that are going to talk to you and share. I'll be available for questions. I'm not going anywhere. But I want to turn over the floor to Andy Martin, who's our prosecuting attorney for the county. And they have stood up the Family Assistance Center, which I think is important for people to know about. Andy, come on over, Andy.
So we'll have Andy Martin first, followed by a couple more, and then we'll take questions for the entire team. So we'll have Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
Identify yourself again, please. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew Martin. I'm the prosecuting attorney for the County of Maui. We have the privilege today of moving our Family Assistance Center from Central Maui over here to the Hyatt Regency in Kaanapali. This is a one-stop shop for victims of the wildfires to be able to come and not only receive a host of services that Anita's going to talk to you a little bit about in a bit here, but it's a place where we partnered up with the Department of Health and Human Services to be able to help those who have family members that are missing, be able to speak with the wonderful folks over at DHHS so that we can help them find their missing family members. Frank's going to talk to you a little bit about that. It's an incredible center. We had a really busy morning out there, but we're really happy that we can be on this side to service those community members who are suffering as a result of the wildfires. I want Anita to tell you a little bit about the services that we're offering out there and why this is a one-stop shop for everybody.
Sure.
Name and title, please.
My name is Anita Ahuja. I'm the Victim Witness Program Director in the Department of the Prosecuting Attorney and directing the Family Assistance Center. And as Andy said, we opened at our new location this morning at the Hyatt in Kaanapali. We are there to serve victims with as many resources as possible for short and long-term recovery from the wildfires. The services that we're providing is one.
And we are having some technical difficulties. We will bring you more on that in a little bit. Now, injury law firm Morgan & Morgan has filed a lawsuit against several Hawaiian electric companies for alleged negligence in causing the Lahaina fire. The lawsuit claims the fire started when the electrical infrastructure and power lines came into contact with vegetation in the surrounding areas and says the companies knew that power lines posed a significant fire hazard during adverse weather conditions. Hawaiian Electric has refused to comment on any of the pending lawsuits, saying they are focused on restoring power to the island. To weather now, here's a live look over Honolulu on this Aloha Friday. Let's send it over to meteorologist Drew Davis for a look at your forecast. Drew.
Aloha, Ashley. I want to give you a quick look at our first alert radar and satellite out there. We're seeing a couple of trade wind showers up just east of Oahu out there, but really we've got a lot of dry air across the entire state. We're watching this swirl right here. This is the remnants of Fernanda. This is water vapor imagery, so we're seeing a lot of moisture down south. There's not a lot of moisture right here with Fernanda, but it's still humid enough when it's going to be impacting us on Monday and Tuesday that we could see some heavy rainfall. Right now, our surf and shoreline forecast, we're seeing north and east facing shores decreasing out there with west and south facing shores pretty flat across those areas, but we're going to start to see these increase as the remnants of Hurricane Fernanda start making their way to Hawaii on Monday and Tuesday. We'll see rain and storms really be the main concern. We're not expecting strong winds, storm surge, or anything. This is not a hurricane. This is a low pressure system, lower than a tropical depression. I'll break it all down on my full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Drew. Now back to our wildfire coverage. Lahaina residents are demanding to have a say in the future of their town as they rebuild. Chelsea Davis has more.
I'm across the street from Wahikuli Wayside Park, and this is where Native Hawaiian community leaders had a news conference earlier today. They have multiple demands of government officials. One of which is to give their community time to grieve. The fire happened only 10 days ago, and they said many people are still in shock and mourning. They said the government should not rush to rebuild the community without first giving the people time to heal, and especially without including the community itself in the planning.
The governor should ensure that all decisions about the rebuilding of Lahaina are made in the open and with full participation of our Lahaina community. We need time to gather all of us together to engage in the important conversations that will be needed. And as Uncle Keamoku reminds us, we are a diverse Lahaina community. Our strength is in our ability to come together, to stand together, to work together, strong and resilient. But we need time to heal and to come together. We also need to be involved in the planning process for rebuilding our community. We ask that the governor meet our demands and work with us to create a better future for Lahaina. Come talk to us.
They're also demanding that government put the community first in any planning process for rebuilding Lahaina. They say this is an opportunity to rebuild how they see fit. They say they have advice for government officials, and that's to listen. Again, these Native Hawaiian community leaders are demanding that government officials include them in the process of rebuilding. To be honest and transparent, they say the future of the Lahaina community depends on it. Reporting in Lahaina, I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Chelsea. And Governor Josh Green is expected to talk about the Lahaina family's demands during his live address at 6 tonight. We'll carry that live on air and online.
Americans are sending help to the people of Maui, but criminals are trying to take that money for themselves. I'm Michael George with expert tips on avoiding charity scams.
And if you're near your phone, scan the QR code on your screen to watch our Hawaii News Now digital special about the Maui wildfires. Stories of Survival is now available on demand on our website, news app, or your streaming device. We'll be right back.